All right. This Wi-Fi connection, bro. Okay. So, just in case we need some more confirmation to prove that we are who the Most High says we are, I wanted to go over Deuteronomy chapter 21, starting at verse 1, where it says, "If one be found slain in the land which Yah your Elohim gives you to possess it, lying in the field, and it be not known who has slain him, then your elders and your judges shall come forth, and they shall measure unto the cities which are round about him that is slain." Verse 3 says, "And it shall be that the city which is next unto the slain man, even the elders of that city shall take an heifer which has not been wrought with, and with which has not drawn in the yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring down the heifer unto a rough valley, which is neither eared nor sown, and shall strike off the heifer's neck there in the valley. And the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near. For them Yah your Elohim has chosen to minister unto him, and to bless in the name of Yah. And by their word shall every controversy, every stroke be tried. And all the elders of that city that are next unto the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer that is beheaded in the valley. And they shall answer and say, Our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it." So you can see right here, we gave a heifer, a sacrifice of an animal. We ain't out there killing people, of an animal. Animals can be eaten, right? For the blood of the innocent person who was slain in the land, right? The Most High hates it when Israel takes the life of one another. And we all know a lot who have this mentality of, I'm going to get this person, I'm going to get my get back, I'm going to get revenge, I'm going to catch a body, I'm going to do this and that over our egos and respect, over something that's minor, something that's not glorifying the Creator. Now, if this person done slain somebody in your family, or if this person done did something to you, that's eye for an eye. But I have to say, you also have to have witnesses, and there's a program to all of this, because our trials are before our judges and our elders, not the enemies. So the enemy's not going to give you justice. I mean, if you put two and two together and you think about it, why would the enemy ever give your people justice when they're your enemy? Why would they give you justice? That doesn't even make sense. That's like an oxymoron. I'm begging my enemy to give me justice and treat me fairly. Doesn't go together, right? But that's neither here nor there. That's a topic for another day. So we have verse 8, where it says, "Be merciful, O Yah, unto your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, and lay not innocent blood unto your people of Israel's charge, and the blood shall be forgiven them." so shall you put away the guilt of innocent blood from among you, when you shall do that which is right in the sight of Yah. When you go forth to war against your enemies, and Yah your Elohim has delivered them into your hands, and you have taken them captive, and see among the captives, and these are just various laws for our people in Israel. You see among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that you would have her to your wife. Then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in your house and bewail her father and mother a full month. And after that you shall go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. And it shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall let her go whither she will. But you shall not sell her at all for money. You shall not make merchandise of her, because you have humbled her. So what is all of this we run around the men of our nation talking about? Oh, I humbled you, so now you my property. This, that, and that, and the third. You're going against the Elohim. The Most High told you right there, don't make your wife your property. She's your wife. And we were so merciful as a people that when we went to slay our enemies, and you got the spoils of war, when you got their women, guess what? You didn't torture them and cut the babies out of their stomachs, and cause them to work out and slave in the fields while you rape them repeatedly, because you don't do that with your slaves. A wife is a wife, a slave is a slave. You can't put them two together. If a person is a servant, they're a servant, and they're supposed to be paid fair wages, not just work for you for free. This torture and this evil culture that we have going on, this is not how the Most High meant for us to be, right? All right, so then we go on and we read in verse 15 where it says, if a man has two wives, one beloved and another hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be, when he makes his sons to inherit that which he has, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn. Got a little chat GPT copying the word. Indeed. Right? So this is the law of Yah. Yah is teaching us how to treat one another. So when you have your first family, she's not just your baby mama, and you just treat her any kind of way because y'all ain't get along, and now you done found somebody new, and now you gonna put them kids over them kids. That's not how it goes. Your firstborn is your firstborn. That's the beginning of your strength. No matter how you felt about your relationship with your partner, your child is your child. Your firstborn is your firstborn. That's the law of Yah. If you really want to walk righteously. Verse 18 says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, he ain't listening to y'all. You can discipline him. You ain't spare the rod. You can do all of that, but he ain't listening to you or mama. Verse 19 says, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him. That means you gonna grab him up. Because you ain't listening. We finna grab you up. We finna do some gangster stuff with you. You don't want to listen? Uh-huh. Because this is what we do with bad seeds. We get rid of bad seeds. You don't want to grow up and do the right thing? Well, then you're detrimental to the growth of all of us. You're going to drag everybody down in the end. Everybody started out as a newborn, even monsters. You hear me? All right. So then they will lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city, all the men of his city, oh my gosh. That's like all in Chicago, yo. All in Chicago. All the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shall you put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. And if a man has committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and you hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but you shall in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of Elohim, that your land be not defiled, which YAH your Elohim gives you for an inheritance. So you defiling the land when you leaving these bodies up on a tree all night. Isn't that what they used to do? They just leave it, it just be hanging there, strange fruit, just hanging there, all day, all night, all we just rotting and smelling and stinking, taking pictures of it. And you think the land is not defiled because of that? The Most High tells you that act right there will defile the land. It sure will. So then we go back to verse 20 where it tells us he will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And I'm thinking, isn't this the way our culture is today? We glorify greed and that drunkard behavior, just ruthless and don't care, rude, don't just not a caring life, shameless. This is how we walk around. Because everybody knows what you do when you a drunkard out in the street. You out there cussing folks out and everything. And this is the culture and the behavior that we glorify as a people. And then we wonder why we are in the state that we are in today. That ain't right. We even got popping bottles. But it's like we popping bottles for what? Nothing wrong with drinking. But you popping bottles for all the wrong reasons. And we all know this. This is what we do as a people to this day. And back up to just to make that point where I was talking about with and she shall put the raiment of her captivity and all of that, and you're merciful, and you show the heathen women and the enemy women, the enemy's women, compassion, right? When it even says that when you find of the captives a beautiful woman, and you ain't even gonna treat her as merchandise. The Most High called them captives, and you still treated them as a wife, not a slave. Right? They become one of us, not just because their nation is wicked and their nation wants to come up against us and fight against us and fight YAH. We we don't have to be like that. You see? We ain't got to be like that. We ain't even got to lift the finger because the Most High got us, just like we doing now. So then you go to Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50, where they told you, the enemies that captured you, said, it's okay. It's okay. So you go to Jeremiah 50 and verse 6, and it says, my people have been lost sheep. Ain't nobody more lost than the black people today. Ain't nobody more lost than us. And everybody knows it. Ain't nobody more lost than us. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Yeah, we forgot our land, like we forgot everything. We forgot all of that. And verse 7 says, all that found them have devoured them. And their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against YAH, the habitation of justice, even YAH, the hope of their fathers. So you mean to tell me they knew YAH is our only justice? They knew that YAH is our only hope? They already knew this? Now I know some people of today, the average person, might not have been hip to this. They might not have been privy to it. They might not, say, hey, I didn't know that was even in the Bible. But let's talk about when this happened. Their forefathers before them is who I'm referring to. They knew who we were. They knew exactly who we were. You understand? And this is why you can't just do away with something that the Most High has put in existence, has put into action. You can't just do away with prophecy. You can't be haughty or arrogant and say, oh, just forget about what happened in slavery. Because this is something of YAH, of the Creator. This is something of the Most High. You can't just do away with that. There's consequences for that. So then you go to, because you ask yourself, right? How did they know these things, right? How did they know these things? Well, you go to Psalm 83, and this is something that all the Mores will tell you. All the wonderful, beautiful Mores that we have in the nation of Israel can tell you this scripture right here. You go to Psalm 83, start at verse 1, and it says, keep not you silence, O Elohim. Hold not your peace, and be not still, O Elohim. For lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, and consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Azur or Azure also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah. So you can see here that the Most High already, of course, knew. This is prophecy. The Most High already knew that this was going to happen. They would be confederate against us, against the Most High, taking crafty counsel against the people of Israel. Crafty counsel like a serpent. Hush, hush, Illuminati stuff, right? Join forces to keep you from being woke. They don't like when anybody says they woke. They don't like it. You notice that? So then you go to verse 9, where it says, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb. Yeah, all their princes as Zebah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Elohim in possession. O my Elohim, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with your tempest, and make them afraid with your storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O YAH. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yeah, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that you, whose name alone is YAH, are the Most High over all the earth. Hallelujah. So, if you need more confirmation than that, then read Deuteronomy 28. The whole chapter. Read Deuteronomy 28. And it will show you exactly who we are. And do some deeper research and some deeper digging. Seek YAH. Because if you don't, you'll perish. And no one can stop the word of YAH, because Most High's word ain't gonna come back void. So it just is what it is, y'all. At this point, at all points, as it's always been, it just is what it is. If you ain't seeking YAH, I don't know what you're doing. But that's all I got for you today. I will be making another video pretty soon. And peace out.